going to do something we have never done before. That is project the 2021 NCAA volleyball bracket 50 days before selections. I'm Michaela Chester with NCAA Digital. Now, before we start, some warnings. In this bracket projection, it is not necessarily my opinion, but instead I did my best to follow the committee's selection criteria and bracketing principles. So I made my AQ and at-large picks as well as the top 16 seeds based on a combination of where things are now, the most recent RPI, the committee's criteria, and where I think these teams could be by the end of the season. It is a guess as to how things will shake out. For the bracketing, I followed the bracket principles to the best of my ability, meaning schools have to remain within 500 miles for their regional if possible and avoid conference matchups in the first round. So with that being said, let's start with the top 16 seeds. Again, committee criteria and projecting how the rest of the season will shake out. My top 4 seeds are Texas, Louisville, Wisconsin, and Pitt. Pretty solid on these. The number 1 Longhorns, no losses this season. They never slip up. Logan Eggleston, Skylar Fields, 5 returning All-Americans after making it to the title game, and the number 2 RPI in the country. Then we've got Louisville. This is with a projection that they could win the ACC. They're currently undefeated. They could drop a game to Pittsburgh this season, but other than that, they could cruise. One of the best blocking teams in the country with Amaya Tillman and Iko Jones. They're battle-tested and a great offense led by Anna DeBeer and the number 3 RPI in the nation. Wisconsin at number 3, we know this team. They've been at the semifinals for the past 2 years. Dana Retke leads the group. I've got them as the projected Big Ten conference winner. They did lose a shocker to Maryland, but they are pounding through every other ranked team. They are the number 3 seed. Lastly, you've got Pitt. These top 4 seeds are really obvious to me. You could order them in different ways, but as long as it's these 4 teams. Pitt's undefeated as well after a strong 2020 NCAA tourney run. Kayla Lund and Chinaza Ende are pretty unstoppable. They've got the battle with Louisville for the ACC, but they do hold the number 1 RPI ranking. For the rest of my top 16, we've got Kentucky out of the SEC, Penn State, Nebraska, Minnesota, Baylor, Purdue, UCLA, Ohio State, BYU, Tennessee, Utah, and Stanford. Tennessee has got a super high RPI. This is a team that might surprise you, but I think they could be a sneaky top 16 seed for the committee this year. I broke the rest of my top 64 teams into 2 seeds, 3 seeds, and 4 seeds, and then bracketed them while trying to stick to the curve, but still also putting teams in regionals within 500 miles of their school and outside of their conference. For more explanation on this, head over to NCAA.com and get excited for the real selections. The 2021 NCAA volleyball tournament field will be announced on November 28th.